It looked finished. 2 rounds into the 2026 Masters, this tournament felt like it was already decided. Rory McIlroy had come out firing with a 67 and a 65, getting to 12 under par and building a 6-shot lead. At Augusta, that's not just a strong position, it's usually a winning one. Players don't typically give that back here, and they definitely don't get chased down easily. Everything about Rory's game looked locked in. He was driving it long and straight, controlling his iron shots and rolling in putts with confidence. More importantly, he looked completely comfortable, like he knew exactly what Augusta was going to demand and exactly how to handle it. At that point, it didn't feel like a tournament. It felt over. Then everything changed. But Augusta doesn't work like that. It waits. And then it flips everything. Saturday was where the shift happened. Rory didn't implode. He shot a 73, but it was just enough to open the door. And once that door opened, the field didn't hesitate. Cameron Young fired a 65 and erased the entire lead. Justin Rose started climbing. Others worked their way into contention, and just like that, a 6-shot cushion disappeared in a single day. Gone. Rory walked off the course no longer protecting a lead, but now tied heading into Sunday. And that changes everything, because managing a lead is one thing, but now it was a fight. Sunday started going sideways fast. Sunday at Augusta always brings pressure, but this one felt unstable from the beginning. Rory stepped onto the first tee tied for the lead, and within just a few holes, things started slipping. Then came the moment that made everyone stop and think, this might actually fall apart. Double bogey on the 4th hole. That wasn't just a bad hole, it changed the entire feel of the round. Suddenly, Rory wasn't controlling anything. He was reacting, and at Augusta, that's when things can spiral. At the same time, the leaderboard started tightening fast. Justin Rose made a run on the front 9. Cameron Young stayed right there. And Scottie Scheffler, as usual, quietly started working his way into contention. What felt over 2 days earlier now felt completely wide open. If you've ever watched a Masters like this, you know how quickly things can flip. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe. And drop a comment. When did you realize this tournament wasn't over anymore? Because this is where it got interesting. The tournament turned into chaos. From that point forward, nobody took control. Every time it looked like someone might separate, something went wrong. Justin Rose briefly grabbed the lead, then gave it back. Cameron Young had chances but couldn't quite capitalize. Scheffler kept creeping closer, steady and consistent. And Rory? He looked like he was hanging on. That's what made it feel chaotic. There was no rhythm, no stability, no player taking over the moment. It just kept shifting, hole after hole, mistake after mistake. Augusta took over. At some point, this stopped feeling like a normal tournament and started feeling like Augusta itself was in control. Because when that course gets firm and fast, it doesn't just test your swing, it tests your decisions, your patience, and your nerves. Good shots don't always get rewarded, and bad shots get punished immediately. You could see it happening. Players weren't just competing against each other anymore. They were trying to survive the course. And that's when things get unpredictable. Amen Corner changed everything again? Then came Amen Corner. This is where Masters tournaments are decided, and this year was no different. After looking like he might be slipping, Rory steadied himself. He picked up birdies on 7 and 8 to build a little momentum. But the real turning point came at 12 and 13. He made birdie on the 12th, a hole that usually takes shots away, and followed it with another on 13. Just like that, everything flipped again. The same player who looked like he might collapse was suddenly back in control. That's Augusta. 2 holes can change everything. Scheffler was right there the whole time. Even with that shift, it still wasn't over. Because Scottie Scheffler never went away. He didn't panic. He didn't make big mistakes. He just kept playing steady, high-level golf. Fairways, greens, and just enough birdies to stay within striking distance. By the time the leaders reached the final stretch, Scheffler was at 11 under, 1 shot back. Now it wasn't chaos anymore. It was pressure. No one could finish it cleanly. What made this Masters so unusual is that nobody could take full control, even late on Sunday. Every opportunity to pull away disappeared. Every chance to close it out came with tension. It never settled. It never got comfortable. Even at the end, it didn't feel secure. That's rare. Most majors have a moment where someone takes over. This one never did. Rory survived it. Rory's final round wasn't perfect. It wasn't dominant, and it definitely wasn't easy. But it was enough. He shot 71, finished at 12 under, and held off Scheffler by one shot. After losing a 6-shot lead, after everything started slipping, after the pressure built all day, he still found a way to win. That's the part that matters. Why it felt over, and then wasn't. So why did this tournament feel finished so early and then completely fall apart? First, Rory's early dominance made it look like a runaway. A 6-shot lead at Augusta usually ends things. Second, Saturday changed the entire dynamic. Once the lead disappeared, everything tightened instantly. And third, the pressure of Sunday at Augusta exposed everyone. No one played clean enough to separate, which kept the tournament alive all the way to the end. Why this win means more. This wasn't a comfortable win. It wasn't a wire-to-wire performance. Rory lost control of the tournament, and still won it. That's what makes it different. Because it's one thing to win when everything is going right. It's another thing entirely to win when things start slipping, and you still hold it together. That's championship golf. Conclusion. The 2026 Masters looked like it was over after 2 rounds. Then the lead disappeared, the pressure built, the leaderboard turned into chaos, and suddenly nobody knew what was going to happen. That's what made this one different, because this Masters was over until it wasn't, and in the end the player who survived it was Rory McIlroy.